I'm the Commissar. We're watching Forged Alliance Forever, and you need to be ready for a little bit of monkey business in today's game. Let's go ape. Be honest with me, my loyal viewers. When I said that, how many of you went straight down to the comments to tell me that monkeys are not apes? I know. So, we have a 3v3 ladder, and that means we have a cold team up here, and we have a hot team down here. Let's meet the hot team first. In the rearguard position, we have Raider, who is 1536 rated, and Cybran. He's in orange. In front of him, in the forward slot, we have Gibbo. I prefer Gibbo out of those options, so that's what I'm going to call him. 1706 rated, and Seraphim, he's in red. And here in the flank slot, I guess, for a hot team, we have TyNet, who is 1605 rated, and Cybran in burgundy. And then mirrors up here on the cold team. At the back, we have ExtraMassBlocker, 1507 rated, and UEF. He's in mauve. In the forward position, this is Khal, whom we saw last week. He is 1754 rated, and Cybran, he's in baby blue. And last but not least for today's game, this is Plum, 1575 rated, and UEF. He's in dark blue. Now the map. First thing we notice about it is choke points. There are only 3 ways through on land, and they are all quite small. So there could be quite a lot of turtling, but these areas are both quite far away from the teams on the other side of the choke point, so there could be some good raiding going on there. Decent expansions for Khal and Plum for their mirrors, but Raider and Blocker are both a bit cut off from mass, so they're going to have to work to expand. As for Reclaim, a lot of mass poop around the hills, across the middle and in the corners. But I say a lot, a few thousand. So enough to be worth fighting over, but not enough to worth absolutely going mad about at the very start of the game. Now, it's no surprise, given the lack of mass with which Raider started around his base, that he's going for a very early drop, and he's getting a decent amount of NGs on that. Is that 5 NGs I see on that transport? Yes, it is. And off he flies. He's heading up to these expansions over here. Slightly slow work from Blocker, who's just treating himself to the tree claim around his base. He's gone for an early bomber. I feel that he could do better doing what Raider's doing and going for the drop. In fact, TyNet is already out with a drop here as well, heading for this corner. So hot team expanding very fast compared to cold team. And Raider just puts down everything here. I think he wants to fortify this position. I wondered whether he was going to try and scatter the NGs around here, but he doesn't. However, the drop from TyNet has been seen, and the bomber we spoke about from Blocker is coming in. And what a perfect bomb that is. This is a Scorch which does a lot of spread fire damage and damage over time, and as a combination of that, despite the slight split from TyNet, it managed to get all of the engineers in that drop. Absolutely brutal. I love it. Now, we have Gibbo here, and he's sending his spam up the side passage. Now, I think that makes a lot of sense. It will help support Raider in his drop here, and the central passage is likely to be where the comms are, and indeed it is. Blockers here, cars here. T1 spam isn't going to get through this narrow area when there's a bunch of comms, but it might get around the side, and that is the plan from Gibbo, so I like that a lot. TyNet, meanwhile, is dropping again to this location, hoping he doesn't get bombed this time, and Raider is this time going for the split that I was wondering whether he would do earlier. This time he is. As you can see, he's dropping onto the reclaim, he's dropping onto each of the individual mexes. He's going to try and pick it up as fast as he can, and hope that Cold Team can't counter everything at once. Which, as yet, they can't. Remember, a T1 mech, if you can build these quickly, only takes 18 seconds to pay for itself. Now, just as Gibbo was doing over here, Khal is doing the same over here, sending his troops around the side in order to fortify his ally. Cheeky little bomber here from Plum. Picks up an NG. No air response from a hot team yet, and so that might... he's trying to hover bomb here. And he does get another NG before the air from Raider takes it out. Now, Khal coming around the side here, he's going to try and take this expansion, but it's not going to be very successful because there's already a T1 point defense up from TyNet holding that position. Good bomber raid from Raider though in the north. Look at that. That's got 2 NG kills, and I think it's going to get... No, it's not. No, it's not. It gets shot down by the interceptors from Plum. Khal now knows about this defensive point, and he's trying to come around here. But TyNet hasn't been able to expand down here yet. TyNet does have spam coming into counter, so I don't know if Khal's going to get a great deal of work done here. And TyNet is bringing his comm out to this position so that he can defend and fortify it. I do love this drawing tool. It's actually really useful. I was ambiguous about it when it first came out, but now I've got to admit I am a lot happier because I can draw on the map. Let's pretend I'm being serious and didn't do that. Meanwhile, over here, Gibbo is going for gun. He's almost finished his gun. He's the first to go on any sort of upgrade as far as I can tell. We do have gun coming in from Plum as well, but he's a lot further behind. And in fact, Plum's had to pause. He's not got the power for it at this immediate moment. Hot team getting good raids in the far north up here. They have taken out a mech as well, but Plum's got the spam to counter. But, I mean, killing a mech's pretty nice. And in the middle, another raid from Hot team. Another mech is being claimed. This autogun might be denied, and these NGs are valuable pickups for this raid. So this is actually really good raiding work from Hot team, and I love it. They're getting a lot more work done than I expected. I think, in fact, it picks up another mech. Look at how horrifically damaged those Mantis were individually, but they managed to pick up all those mechs and all those NGs to make it much shorter to rebuild, so that is really good work. Now, if we have a quick look here, we see that Cold Team have the reclaim lead, and I'm not surprised. Remember we showed you how all the reclaim was around the middle hills? These are engineers from Khal, and they have been out in force, absolutely eating up the reclaim. But Hot Team have the eco lead as a whole, because look at the map control they've got. They've got this area up here, and they've got this area down here. Hot Team control both flanks pretty much unopposed. So, Cold Team going to have to worry about that. Now we've got multiple T2 upgrades for Hot Team. We have TyNet building T2 on his comm. We have Gibbo building T2 on his comm. And I can understand why. You want to fortify the choke points, and so a T2 comm might be superior to a gun comm in this regard for this map. Now those who have played with me a lot may know that it's weird to hear me say that. I love a good gun comm. Is a map a gun comm map? Is it a map? Then it's a gun comm map. Good sized push here coming in from Raider, but an even bigger push from Plum is going to evict Raider from his little expansion up here. Now this expansion has easily paid for itself. It's got a decent bunch of reclaim. It's had mixes for more than 18 seconds. But Raider's now going to be in a difficult spot when it comes to defending it. And we do have a tech mismatch that I've noticed on the field. Plum has T2, Khal has T2, Raider has T2 air, whereas down on the other side, no tech from Raider, blocker, no tech from Raider, T2 from Gibbo, and only just now, this very second, has TyNet finished his tech 2 upgrade. So there is going to be more tech on the field for Cold Team, and Plum, meanwhile, is using his spam to push down. Raider could actually be a bit vulnerable here. And as this spam does work, Raider is naked. That amount of tanks could do severe damage to his comm. As if that weren't enough, all 3 comms from Khal team are pushing in. Raider might need to fall back if he doesn't want to be absolutely overwhelmed here. And so he does. Trying to take on all of this spam with just your naked comm seems a bit bold, but Raider looks like he's planning to do it. Sure, he's got a bit of spam here, but is it enough? Especially with Plum, who's got gun coming in. But Plum's not taking the fight. Khal is also joining, he's waiting for that. And MassBlocker is following up. So a reposition from Khal team there. And Raider's position does look perilous. Gibbo starting the tactical missile with his T2, that could be fun. And Raider is now wisely falling back. Meanwhile, TyNet has reached T2 and he's just gone straight for T3 with that. Have we got any Tech 3 land coming up for the other team? Yes, we have it queued. After those 2 bangers, Khal has Tech 3 land queued, and Plum is already on the way. So we're switching quite quickly to T3 this game. Raider, however, has come further forward. Nope, he's falling back again. He's seen that there are 3 comms and a decent horde of spam here. And if I were Raider, I would not be taking this on. However, the 3 comms here does mean that there isn't much over here. And we have a decent number of Urshis from Gibbo fighting off against only T1 from I've forgotten his name, Khal, completely blanked it there. And Raider just loses his expansion here to the multiple comm assault plus the heap of spam. Immediately Plum is setting up mexes there, and Raider is falling back through a choke point. Meanwhile over here, we have quite the push here. Quite the push from TyNet. As we see on the inset, Khal launching tactical missiles at TyNet's expansion. Defense from Blocker's gunships. As in they come. And there is a TMD going up for TyNet in that expansion, which you can see on the inset. And it goes up just in time, absolutely clutch. Meanwhile, Gibbo has launched a tactical missile from his own comm. Is he going to be able to get more work done? And this raid is actually getting damage. Oh, yes, he is. Look at that. Gibbo takes out production from Plum on the front line. TyNet's raid gets a mech, but the gunships clean it up. The T2 point defense in the base clean it up. But forcing Khal to put up T2 point defense in the base, that's pretty nice. Gibbo sends in his Urshis, and they're going to get work done against this sort. Remember that that's mostly T1, and even if there were T2, Urshis are like the best T2 unit in terms of raw firepower, although they are quite slow. However, a comm, even a naked comm who has overcharge, will be a match for this, and so they decide not to fight Khal at this time. Indeed, instead, they're going to head up and try and do some work against the more exposed base belonging to Khal here. And Gibbo's TML still doing work, as we can see down there on the inset. I'm saying this very boldly. I hope I'm going to be able to edit all this in later. Meanwhile, though, the Urshi push is countered by Titans, as Plum is getting T3 units out onto the field. And the Titans are being covered by T1 and T2 spam here from Khal as well. So, and Khal's comm comes in to finish the job. Good defense from Khal team. Now things, despite having lost this area now, things are really adding up for Hot Team despite their early mass control. Despite losing this map control, things are really adding up for Hot Team. And look at the eco, they're like 70 ahead. We're talking about a 30% lead here. Nice little drop of artillery coming in from Raider. And that could pick up quite a lot here. Several NGs who are standing around not doing anything. That's what you get for taking the T-break NGs. You die to artillery. And also the mechs goes down to that Medusa raid. Meanwhile, look at this. Gibbo is getting work done with his TML again. He is really picking up the TML hits. Good work. And up here, Blocker is on the way to T3 air. We haven't seen any air tech from Hot Team, so that could actually be a massive game changer if all goes well. And look at the damage that Gibbo's TML has done. Look at the mastery they have now. It's over 100. That is insane. Raider has tried to come back. He's tried to retake this expansion. But Plum is not far away, and Plum is coming in with his Guncom. Now this is a big army. It's really T3 in there yet. Well, not yet, but... Oh, here come the Titans. And remember, Titans are fast. They're going to catch up pretty soon. So one-on-one, Raider has the more firepower, but he's already more damaged because he's got stealth as well as gun. And he has got Plum into the yellow, but Plum's got mobile shields to cover him. He's got a whole army coming in. And he is really swarming down on Raider here. Raider could really be in trouble. Plum again taking the lead over his units. This could be quite dangerous with these turrets going up. Khal's TML finally doing work there. That's good. But Raider is being chased. Bombers come in to help out. These Titans combined with the bomber might be enough to do the trick. TyNet has a great looking brick drop coming in there. We'll follow that later, but right now all the focus is on Raider, who is being swarmed by Titans and bombers. He's deep into the red. I do not think he is getting out of here. He is not getting out of here. Boom! Raider is our first ejection from the game at just past 17 minutes. But you know, I mentioned that brick. Well, it has just landed. We have to go straight up here, where it is in the back of MassBlocker's base. And what's he got to defend? He's got a bunch of completely exposed T2 mechs is fully capped here, that he might just be about to lose to this one brick and one deceiver which covered the transport's approach. So Blocker, he's got gun, shield and nano, so if he can get an overcharge on that brick, he should be have more than enough to stop it. But look at the damage this brick is doing. That's two fully capped T2 mechs is already taken out. Raider's NG's trying to put up a factory to block those shots. He loses a fourth mechs. And a fifth. Amazing. The brick's now trapped in the corner, and I'm sure that the comm will be able to overcharge it in a second. But that is so much work. MVP, that brick. That brick. Who finally dies. Okay, now that we've amused ourselves watching that little brick, Hot Team now have 150 eco lead. That is insane. That's 50% eco lead. And look at the total mass collected. They've collected 40,000 more mass over the whole course of the whole game as a result. Despite the fact that Code Team have been able to reclaim more. Looks like we got another Ilshi push from Gibbo coming forward in mid. Ilshis are pretty good, they're like T2.5, but against this amount of T2, I don't know if they'll be able to get a decent amount of work done, though equally this rock can't push because of the turrets that Gibbo is putting up against them. But Khal is falling back. A line of T1 fortifications going up here, but this looks like it's all turtle work at the moment. Okay, this issue is this Ilshi push might do some damage. There's quite a lot in there. No, but Blocker, remember he's got gun, shield and nano we saw just now when he was fighting that brick. He's flying in person to deal with this big crowd of Ilshis. Meanwhile, TyNet is creeping some bricks around here, but they're not stopping to fight Plum's army, which might come through here. Gibbo, who's inherited Rage's base, might have to be worried about this, as Blocker is forcing the Ilshis back, but I don't think he'll get any further because of this big bank of point defense. Meanwhile, as these bricks come up here and Plum actually retreats to try and chase them, more are being dropped in by TyNet, taking out the expansion that Plum recently captured from Raider. So that is pretty good work. More tactical missile shenanigans from TyNet. Where are they heading this time? I think they were trying to hit the comm for Blocker that's now retreating, and one tactical missile against the comm with that amount of hits wouldn't have done much anyway. Meanwhile though, look at the damage that these bricks are doing. They are getting work done. These ones won't though, and this could be a sign of what's to come. Remember I said that the T3 could be a game changer? Well, that is a lot of broadswords. And they take out that, swarm of bricks from TyNet, but there's more over here. Splitting up, getting damage where they can. Engi's dying here, Mech is killing here. TyNet tries to drop more, but it's shot down by the inties from Plum. And Gibbo is working on a monkey in Rage's old base, but the gunships have come here and they're going to take it out. No, even better, they're just focusing on the build power so that this is essentially wasted until Gibbo can get the build power back. Anti-air is being flung up everywhere in the base, and there is already a SAM here. But those broadswords have killed a lot of bird power, and they are really getting the work done. They are all going to die in the end by the looks of things, just because the sheer amount of anti-air that's going up. But, I mean, this is great. Down goes a lot of bird power, and this monkey will now take a lot longer for Gibbo to get up and running. Couple of raiding loyalists from Khal trying to take out this firebase from TyNet. The T1 point defenses might be enough. Yeah, I think they are, as will the T1 arty. But it looks like if you don't succeed with your units, then send in your comm. He's coming here, and I think that Blocker is just going to try and take on this firebase in person. Meanwhile, we have had Gibbo dropping up here to reclaim this mechs, and the bricks are finally being dealt with, but they did some decent work. In comes Blocker. Khal is first to finish a monkey, thanks to the damage that, come on Blocker, we're watching you here, there we go. Khal is first to finish a monkey, thanks to the damage that the broadswords from Plum did to Gibbo's monkey. However, we'll come back and watch this in a minute, because we have a big push from Hot Team heading forward. And it's coming up through the middle. Where's it heading? I think it's heading over here. Plum doesn't want to face it, and he is flying his commander out. Blocker is just forcing his way forward. He can easily deal with T1 point defenses, and boom, lovely overcharge, taking out a huge heap of engineers. The push continues to advance from Hot Team, and when I say advance, it's sort of posturing more than it is advancing at the moment, but we can live with that, I suppose. Blocker has taken some damage. His shield went down and he took some damage, but he's not stopping just yet. And meanwhile, Khal's monkey is about to take the fight. Scout for Nuke T4, says Raider. Well, they found the T4 alright. It's right here. And there is nothing really in position to counter it. This monkey is gonna eat so much in the way of free kills. There are also a decent number of Percys coming in to support from Plum, and this entire push from Hot Team is, I think, going to be forced right back. Yeah, look at this. Are Khal and Plum going to advance? I really think they should, because what is there to stop them at this stage? Absolutely nothing, that is what. And forward they come. How is Blocker doing? Well, Blocker has actually captured one of TyNet's factories here, which is nice. He's going to be able to have access to cyber technology there, and now he's building his own factory as a result. In addition, presumably with the intention of spamming engineers to reclaim all this business. Meanwhile, Gibbo did finally finish that monkey. He's bringing it in, but it's a long way away, and Khal is sending his monkey down this way, which is nice. It'll be able to hit this expansion with essentially no resistance, at least to begin with. TyNet does have a few bricks here. I don't think there's enough bricks to stop the monkey. We'll soon see whether I'm right about that. TyNet finishing a monkey of his own, but it's not going to be in time to save this. That said, the bricks are doing a decent heap of damage on this monkey. Maybe it does go down. I wasn't expecting that. It's into the red. But saved by a crucial rank of veterancy. Nice work. And now these Percys will come in to do the damage. However, TyNet's expansion up here is now under threat from this monkey. TyNet's monkey is coming in to defend, but I think he's going to lose this expansion to the Percys from Plum before the monkey is in position to handle it. And offense is the best defense for Gibbo. He's going forward. Yeah, look at that. He's lost 4 T3 mexes. The monkey will deal with the Percys, but he's lost 4 T3 mexes. And Khal, rather than choosing to push on forward, comes back to defend against TyNet's monkey, but he has second thoughts, realizing that this monkey is really heavily damaged and this one isn't, so he would just lose that engagement. Meanwhile, Blocker's comm has come on forward and has also set up a bunch of cheeky spam factories there, and between them, the comm and the monkey from Blocker and Khal respectively are just going to sandwich this base for TyNet and completely take it out. Gibbo still advancing. We will check on him later, but right now, back down here, because this is going to be some fun for Cold Team until that monkey from TyNet catches up. Meanwhile, we're going to look down there where some broadsword raiding is going on. I think the air fight is going to be taken. And meanwhile, in comes the monkey from TyNet, which is going to be a problem because this... Oh, lovely overcharge, because this monkey has a lot less health than this monkey, and TyNet's monkey got the shot off first. But beautiful overcharge from MassBlocker is going to take out TyNet's monkey, and Khal's monkey is somehow going to survive on 5 vets. Meanwhile, though, TyNet lost the air fight, and those broadswords are still free to raid. So this is a huge turnaround in favour of Cold Team. Look at all this. Nothing left here for Hot Team, and there's still a monkey, a bunch of broadswords, and a comm. And I think Blocker has seen the light and is getting out of there in a hurry. However, Gibbo's army, said we'd come and check it back on it, and here we are coming and checking back on it, and with good reason. It's about to do the same to Plum's expansion, that Khal and Blocker just did to TyNet. Plum's comm is running away like a little cowardly raccoon. He's not going to do exactly the same thing as... Why is the raccoon cowardly, in my opinion? Some people may remember, some people may not. But, I only said that because that was the first cowardly thing that came to mind. A cowardly custard, if you will. A cowardly whatever you think is cowardly. And there was a broadsword defense from Plum. Gibbo tries to take it, but Gibbo loses the air fight, and Plum still has a few broadswords remaining, hanging around there. Eco's now remarkably level, only about 40 in it, because, sure, Cold Team don't have this area again, but Hot Team don't have this area. Map control is pretty much even Stevens, and a lot of damage has been done. Whew. So, where are we? TyNet is trying to re-expand down here, but this monkey, the damaged one from Khal earlier, that managed to rack up all its vets in that heroic defense, might have something to say about it, might not want TyNet reconstructing this area. Up here, Gibbo is falling back because there are two monkeys from Plum giving chase, which in combination with the broadswords wouldn't be much fun for him, but in comes Khal's monkey. TyNet's attempt to re-expand is very quickly shot in the metaphorical face. And that is that. Gibbo now actually falling back all the way, perhaps in defense, or perhaps he wants to try and swing an attack all the way around here. I honestly don't know if I like that. I think he has enough to stop these two monkeys from Plum and get some damage done here, though I think this is what he's worried about, a vast fleet of broadswords. And they desperately need more air. Meanwhile though, Khal's monkey is coming in straight for TyNet space, but it is heavily damaged despite the 5 veterancies. TyNet is desperately producing what he can. These Corsairs will be a good defense against the monkey, and they smash it down to only 4,000 hit points. Will the brick trickle be enough to do the rest? Yes, it will. Down it goes before even getting any real damage done, and as if that weren't enough, Gibbo has a new monkey coming in from the side, but that was still pretty close shave for TyNet's base right there. And Gibbo still... Actually, Gibbo's not pushing around here like I thought. He's falling right back here, so Hot Team suddenly playing extremely defensively. We have a nuke here from Gibbo, but we also have a nuke here from Khal. So, both teams going for the nuclear option. There is loaded nuke defense there from Khal. There is nuke defense not loaded here from Gibbo, and there is nuke defense not loaded here from TyNet. Will they be fast enough to load it? Meanwhile, TyNet begins a bit of a counter push. A few bricks, there's a monkey following, and Blocker is still here. However, in swarm, the gunships. Where are they going? But TyNet is moving in on Blocker's comm. The gunships, though, they're hitting the SMD. And they get the SMD. I think they're going to die before they get any real damage done to the rest of the base, but that SMD is enough. That's what they came for. And again, it looks like Cold Team are going to win air, as if that weren't enough. Meanwhile, we'll have to come back to that as Khal brings in a monkey to defend, because Plum's monkeys are coming into the base, and look at this eco essentially free to grab as Plum's monkey pair just hits the front line. And Gibbo's army, you can see in the corner there, is coming back to defend, but we'll worry about that when it catches up. And this is an immense loss for Hot Team, fully double capped T3 mexes, and their front line is actually under risk. Gibbo is running away. here's his army coming back to try and defend, but these monkeys are opening fire, and what's he got to stop them? Well, he's got another monkey coming in from the front, and this could be, and there goes the nuke, but meanwhile we've got to watch as well in the inset as in comes the monkey from TyNet chasing down Blocker's comm. Is it finally going to catch him? This monkey goes down in defense for Gibbo, and these monkeys for Plum continue. There goes Blocker. Blocker is down, defeated by TyNet's monkey, but Gibbo is losing his base to the double monkey from Plum. His single monkey wasn't enough to defend, and his own army is still all the way over there. Well, it's just gone for the attack again. But meanwhile, here comes the nuke. As if the monkeys weren't enough, the nuke is descending on TyNet's base. Boom! He's losing everything here, and what an immense turnaround this is from the beginning of the game, where Hot Team appeared to have such a lead. We have these multiple monkeys, one of them very heavily damaged, but multiple monkeys nonetheless. A monkey from TyNet comes back in defense. Other monkey heading off down there. We'll watch it on an inset, I think. But this monkey is trashing TyNet's base. TyNet does have a monkey chasing it, which is fine. Oop, that was not what I intended to do there, sorry. Gibbo's comm is there. This monkey is actually caught in the end. Meanwhile, Gibbo is making a last-ditch charge up here, heading with two monkeys and his entire army into their base. Into the base of Khal team. Khal has a monkey coming in to defend, but this is a very hefty army with Seraphim T3 mobile shields and an awful lot of AI and a few Ophiums protecting two monkeys. This is going to be a really significant force for Khal team to try and stop. TyNet is not having any of this. He thinks it's over, and when you look at the eco balance, you realise that yes, my loyal viewers, it very much is, unless this combination of multiple monkeys and Seraphim shielding from Gibbo will do the job. And that, meanwhile, that earlier very damaged monkey from Plum is still just eating its way through Gibbo's base, which is hilarious. Now, two monkeys. Is that going to be enough to defend from Khal? Because this is quite a significant army backing them up. Gibbo pushes in. One monkey down for each side. And if he can take out this S&D, he's got a... Oh no, wait. Gibbo had a loaded nuke. Guess what happened to it? It was that monkey. But no, Khal brings in another monkey, and suddenly there is not much left for Gibbo. Down goes his monkey. There's a few Ophiums left, and Ophiums are tough, but there's point defense, including T3 point defense here. Ravagers from the Khal team. There are multiple monkeys being churned out. What does Gibbo have left? Well, I'll tell you what he's got left. He's got a monkey from Plum in his base. Which is not, I guess, what you wanted to hear if you're supporting Hot Team, but it's what he's got. He does have a monkey back here. And that will take out this monkey that's destroying all he had. But at what cost? Look at the eco now, just to see this monkey, boom, dying to Gibbo's. What's Gibbo got left? Well, he's got this monkey, which is going in, but there are broadswords surrounding it. Stingers surrounding it, and there are three monkeys from Khal team surrounding it. That, I think, is that. Look at this, my loyal viewers. Look at the immense damage wrought by Khal team on Hot Team's base in what I believe to be one of the most marvellous comebacks I've seen for a long time. And Gibbo agrees that there's nothing left for it, and he resigns. What an amazing game. First 15 minutes, I thought Hot Team had that in the bag. Where did they lose it? Was it just lack of air control? Could Gibbo have turned it around if he'd been able to get that nuke off at the end? Tell me in the comments below. While you're down there, don't forget to like, subscribe, and obey. I'm the Commissar. I will see you next time.